Colin Klein in the house. How are you today, man?
How you doing, Johnny? What's going on, man?
You know, I'll first start off by apologizing for being a little late here. My son's home from school today. It was parent-teacher conference, all that fun shit. I was trying to do some recycling, and I dropped a glass. It broke. I had to come in here, get all set up for this, look pretty. Let's see. How does it look? How does it look, Colin?
It's good, man. It's all good. I get it. I got 4 kids of my own, so totally understand.
4 kids? Man, you don't look old enough to have 4 kids.
I know, right? I'll be 37 Friday.
Wow, 37 on Friday?
Yep.
Happy birthday to you, man.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, you don't even look 37. I'm 37. I'm going to be 38 next month. I look way older than you.
And I don't know how with 4 kids you would think I look like 65, you know?
Yeah, man, you're pulling it off nicely. So I notice in the background there you got a Sin guitar and 2 Zackies.
Yep.
No Johnny bass. What's up with that, man?
Man, you know, I just bought myself a guitar for my birthday. I got the James Hetfield Explorer, and I already told myself the next one I'm getting is your bass, man. So I've got another Sin hanging over on the other wall, but gonna have the whole collection eventually.
All right. We'll let you slide on that one for now, and hopefully you get there. We just want to start off by saying happy birthday, though. You said it's on Friday, right? The 21st?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Wow, the big 3-7. Happy birthday to you, brother.
Appreciate it.
A lot of cool things happening on the 21st. Well, one thing I know for sure. 2 things. There's 2 movies. There's Black Adam is coming out. I'm a big rock fan. And The Retaliators is coming out to video on demand. That was the movie. We had Michael Lombardo, the director and main actor. Lombardo is our director. Was in the movie, and then there was like a bunch of musicians and stuff. Tommy Lee, Spencer Charnas, guys from Five Finger Death Punch. Have you seen that movie? Do you know what I'm even talking about, Colin?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Okay, it's called The Retaliators. And go check out our episode with Michael Lombardi, too, right here on the podcast. We get into everything about it. It's actually, the writers based it on a true story, and it's a horror movie. The entire story, obviously, isn't based on the movie, but it was the inspiration, rather, for it.
Sure.
And, it's a great movie. Should check it out. And like I said, there's a bunch of, like, Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach is in it, too.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
A lot of acting from some band guys, and it's coming out on your birthday, actually, 21st, to on demand. I guess Michael keeps saying VOD, which I'm assuming is video on demand, and I don't know if that means like streaming everywhere or like Apple TV you can buy it, Amazon you can buy it, rent. I don't know. We'll find out on the 21st.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll check it out for sure.
Well, how the hell are you? Where are you coming to us from, Colin?
Man, I am in Weatherford, Oklahoma.
Weatherford, Oklahoma. How far is that from OKC?
1 hour west, so not too far.
Okay, not too bad. You a basketball fan?
Yeah, I like the Thunder. Mainly football, though, but yeah, I follow the Thunder a little bit.
Okay, because the season just started last night.
Yep.
I'm a Lakers fan. Didn't start out too hot, but, it's promising. You're going against the champions in Golden State. They just got their rings. Things are going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I saw that on SportsCenter this morning. I was like, ooh. But, like you said, it's the first game of the season, so.
Yeah, I still got high hopes, and I'm also a Raiders fan, so we could talk about that in a second.
I'm aware. Yeah.
I like my colors, though, man. I like my Raiders. I like my Lakers. I like my Kings. I like my Dodgers and Angels. That one's weird, I know, but I like both those teams pretty equally.
That makes sense.
Well, you have, for me, it's always been I have an American League team and I have a National League team.
Yeah.
And until they meet each other in the World Series, it's really not that big of a deal. And when they do, I'll make a decision then,
Yeah. I mean, until the Thunder, everyone in Oklahoma was Texas, sports fans, just because that's the closest professional teams we had to root for. So.
And so, getting back to that, then you said you're more of a football fan. Who's your football team?
Well, I like college ball, so Oklahoma Sooners are my team.
Okay.
But in the sports world, or I'm sorry, the NFL world, Dallas Cowboys, man. So I know. Sorry,
Every
you're right.
that it's like every out of market fan is always like a Dallas Cowboys fan. Like it just
Yeah,
may, and I get it. You guys, Oklahoma doesn't have like a true professional team in there, so you obviously go for the Sooners. Most Midwest places like even Alabama and places like that, you end up just those are basically professional teams anyway. They're all recruited the same fucking way.
yeah,
Um, so you end up, I understand why you end up following them and rooting for them. But then the
yeah.
Cowboys. Why the Cowboys?
Man, it was the product of the household. My dad was a fan, my grandpa was a fan, and growing up watching them, watch it and get crazy, it just kind of gravitated towards me. So that's where I'm at.
All right, yeah. I mean, I get it. At least it's been like the whole time, but they
Yeah,
look good this season. I mean, they just lost to the Eagles, but I mean, the Eagles look pretty incredible. So, and that is a division game, division rivalry. So, those games are
yeah,
going to get tight anyway. And that was without Dak Prescott. So you guys got to be pretty hopeful right now,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You follow a couple of the fan pages on Facebook, and it gets pretty crazy. Like for a backup, the guy stepped in and did great. He was 4-1.
Absolutely.
What more can you ask for? And then, he loses a big game, and everyone's down on him, and it's like, what do you want? you know, just be happy we are where we are. It could be a lot worse. So I'm good with that.
Yeah. No, it could be a lot worse. You could have like a really good team that like is in every game and they like should beat these games and should have like and like they look really good. All the plays for the most part are coming
Yeah.
together and they're still 1-4. And that
Yeah,
could
absolutely. I will say the
I don't
NFL
know
as a
what
whole
team
this
I'm
season
talking
is
about, but
crazy. It's been wild.
yeah, it's a wild start to the season, but it always is, and by the
Yeah,
end of it, it starts to make a little bit more sense. Usually the
sure.
case, but yeah, either way, it's a fun time to be a sports fan. Is what I'm getting at. You got the
Absolutely.
October is just the best. You got baseball is in the playoffs, which is the only time, to be honest, I really pay attention. It's too many fucking games during the summer. During the summer, I want to be
Yep.
out doing stuff anyway. So by the time October comes around, it's like, all right, we're in it. You got basketball starting up. It's cool. It's exciting sport to watch. And of course,
Yep.
football is starting to. You're starting to really see the teams that are really going to have pushes in the playoffs. I feel like this is where you start to kind of see it. Okay, because the first few games, teams get caught off guard, wild shit happens, like we were talking about, and
Yeah.
injuries are starting right now, and seeing how long those are going to affect every team.
Yep.
So it's just Oh, hockey started. We got all the sports happening in October,
Yep.
and that's just sports. I love October because of Halloween. I see you got your a little bit of a Halloween piece. Or I don't know if you just Halloween year
Yep.
round there with that that tombstone. But um,
Yep.
do you guys celebrate Halloween pretty big? I mean, you got it with 4 kids at least at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Um, my 8-year-old son his birthday is the 30th. And
Mm.
so it's kind of funny because he fits the bill because he loves metal music, like big fans of you guys.
Oh,
In fact, I asked him what he wanted for his birthday this year, and he said, I want a jean jacket with a bunch of the band patches on it, like old school, and
and you said
totally
he's
into like
8.
the
What's
old
his name?
Lincoln.
Lincoln. Happy birthday, Lincoln. Coming up, coming
He'll
up
love
for
that.
you on the 30th. Happy 8th birthday, brother.
Yeah, and he's totally into like the slasher movies, like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers,
Oh
all
yeah.
that the good stuff. So
Sounds like you raised
I'm
him right.
yeah, I mean honestly, he just kind of picked it up himself, but I'm very obligated to make sure that we celebrate Halloween the right way.
And what is the right way? What is the right way in your household?
I mean, I got to go all out, like you get the people that really go all out as far as decorating for, Christmas, but I mean, we do a little bit here and there for Christmas, but Halloween here is like got the inflatables in the yard and the interiors decorated and we go the whole 9 yards. So,
Nice. Yeah, it's a big holiday for me as well. I haven't decorated the bar yet. Actually, I think This year we usually do my Halloween party at the house every year, and
Mhm.
we kind of made a decision not to do it this year for a few different reasons, but it ended up working out because we're doing the NFT Death Bat Holders party here in Orange County. So I'm
Yeah,
actually taking a lot of my own decorations here and donating them to the party over there. So
nice.
that's why it's not all decorated for Halloween as it should be this close to the big day, because it is a
Sure.
big. But I mean, I got new stuff out in the front of the house. I still make sure the neighborhood still knows that I'm big into Halloween. You know, what I mean, still got
Oh
everything
yeah,
out.
for sure.
Got the projector out against the window over here, so still back in Halloween. Does everyone have their costume picked out in your house?
Yeah. So my youngest is my daughter. She's gonna be like Raggedy Ann doll. Um,
Okay,
my
kind of
oldest
creepy.
son,
Even if it's not meant to be, a Raggedy Ann doll is still creepy. So I'm on board with that.
yeah, I'm sure she'll pull it off. She's got the attitude for it. Um, my oldest, he's 14. He's going to, I think he's kind of at that age where, nothing's cool anymore, just whatever. So I think he was like, I'm just going to get like a Jason mask. I'm like, that's cool.
He just wants to go around
Um,
and grab the candy.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Lincoln, he wants to be a swamp zombie. He's very eclectic, has a lot of thought process into his decisions. So I'm totally cool with it. And my youngest boy, Ridge, wants to be a helicopter pilot. I don't know.
Okay, okay. That's gonna. So you guys aren't like one of the families that like everyone goes in lockstep and we all go as like the Incredibles or some shit like that,
No, no,
or like
it's
the
I like
Justice League, you know?
yeah, no, it's I like to give them free reign. Just, be you, tell me what you want to do, and I'm good with that.
No, I think that's the way to go. But I've got the advantage of only having one kid, so I don't have to wrangle too many at this age until he doesn't think it's cool anymore. He's only
Yeah,
5. We just let him pick, and then we match whatever he's gonna do. So we got a good
right.
costume for that. But yeah. So you said your 8-year-old wanted to do a swamp zombie, right?
Yep.
Has he seen Swamp Thing?
Yes, he is familiar with that. And I mentioned that to him, and I honestly didn't think that he would know who that is.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, kind of like Swamp Thing, but like if he died. I was like, "Okay."
Okay. Well, he's already on top of it. And your
He
other
knows.
your other kid is how old? Your other younger son. I mean, we know the older one you said is like 13. The other young one was how old you said?
So Lincoln will be 9 on the 30th, and Ridge is 5.
Ridge. Okay. And Ridge
Yep.
wants to be the helicopter pilot. Okay.
Yep.
Has he showed interest in helicopters before, or is it just kind of like this random day he was just like going to be a helicopter pilot, Dad?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So I took the kids to like Spirit Halloween, look at costumes, and
Right.
so he sees essentially it's just a soldier costume, for a kid his age, and he's instead of referring to it as the soldier, he said, "I want to be the helicopter pilot."
Okay.
Like, okay, sounds good to me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. That sounds like a. Oh, you've got. I just noticed you're sipping from the same koozie as I am right now.
Yes, sir.
What do you got? What do you got in that drink?
So this is a brewery called Bell's, and it's a hazy IPA.
I do know Bell's. I love their Two Hearted Ale actually.
I love their Oberon. That is
Oberon. Okay.
fantastic.
I'll have to try that one too. And I have not had their hazy IPA. I've got
It's good.
actually a non-alcoholic because it is 11 o'clock in the morning over here, Colin. So
Yep.
it was a little early to start, but I started on these athletic brewing companies. Uh, I took some time off of drinking for a little while and never thought I'd get into non-alcoholic beers. And
Yep.
I really like it. There's some really good ones out there, man. Like I had no idea. Like it's not just like yesteryear. There's one choice. It's fucking O'Doul's, and it's
Right.
kind of okay. Like these ones, like kind of fool me. Like I really, it tastes like a really good beer, to be honest.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that there's a push in that area with breweries, like trying to kind of hone in on that market. The people that still like the taste, but don't want the after effects. So I think
Right.
that's pretty cool. That's absolutely cool.
Yeah, I like mixing it in now. Like I've like, especially like weekdays, middle of the day, doing a podcast with someone like yourself. It's like
Sure.
I still got the rest of the day ahead of me. I'm not gonna really just start pounding the IPAs yet. What do you do for a living, Colin?
So I manage a wind farm out in western Oklahoma.
You manage a wind farm. Okay, now
Yep.
forgive my ignorance because now I'm about to ask a bunch of questions on that. I have no
Sure.
idea what the fuck that means. Like, what is?
So
I know a wind farm would be basically like, correct me if I'm wrong, where they have the windmills and stuff that are bringing
yep.
in electricity via the wind. Correct.
Correct.
Okay, so what is your job at one of these wind farms entail, and how big is your spot?
Sure. So I have 109 wind turbines on site, 6 employees, and my job is just to keep those guys safe, manage the day-to-day operations, the schedule, just make sure they stay running and stay happy. And my guys are the same way. That's pretty much it, man. Just take care of the place and my people.
And how many acres you said 109 turbines, right?
Yeah.
So
So,
how many acres is that on? Do you know? Like the
man.
plot of land? Cause and is it like
Yeah.
the big ones we have out here in California, like on the way to Palm Springs, just the big white kind of jet looking ones? Is that what you're working
Yep.
with?
Yeah. That's actually the ones you just spoke of. My company owns that site out there. So,
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, the company I work for it is the biggest renewables company in the world, and you probably never heard of it. So,
And what's the
um,
name of it?
NextEra Energy, they're based
Next
out
Day.
of West Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know the name. As I said, my vast knowledge of it is driving to Palm Springs and seeing them, and knowing a little bit of what they're doing. They're just catching the air like an old school windmill would, and
yeah,
and using that to create electricity.
hmm
Let's go into the science of that. Then you're managing that. Do you have a
sure.
lot of the science background on that, like how that how that really works? How it's if the wind is causing it to rotate, basically that's creating a form of energy that is then being converted into electricity. Correct?
Yep, absolutely. Just to make give it in layman's terms, so the wind blows, the blades pitch however much they need to catch that wind. It goes into a gearbox, or on some platforms now they have straight, um, you know, permanent magnet generators. But for the most part, anytime you see a wind turbine around the states, you're going to see the basic ones, which it goes into a gearbox. It takes that low speed, high torque, and that gearbox will essentially transform that into low torque, high speed, and that spins that generator, and that produces the electricity, and then pushes it down and collects it, and then we put it out on the grid for all uses.
Wow. Okay. So, and when you said that it pitches, the blade pitches right there on those big
Yep.
turbines, is that like an automatic thing? Like, or do you guys have to like judge it like almost like a sailboat or something and go out and be like, it's kind of like this today. Let's see if we can get it working a little bit more efficiently.
Sure. No, so it's all automatic now. There's so many sensors that read wind speed, direction, and it'll actually essentially it'll we call it yawing, but it'll yaw into the direction the wind's coming from, and then based on the wind speed, it's either there's mainly two forms of the blades pitching. You have hydraulic or electric. So
Okay.
either an electric motor will spin that blade, or a hydraulic ram will rotate it, and I mean, it's there's a lot that goes into it, but it's really cool.
No, I mean, I am interested in. I mean, like again, my knowledge is very minimal on the on what those things are doing out there, and well, I mean, what's the maintenance got to be on that? Like, I mean, those things are fucking pretty big. Like, something goes wrong, do you guys have to manually go out there, or how do you keep them clean? Even I mean, it's something that's obviously having. There's got to be lubrication of some kind in there on the winches and shit that's going on inside sprockets, whatever. Clearly, I know a lot about tools and stuff, but
Sure.
whatever's like a ball bearing of some kind that's got to be inside there.
Yep.
That shit, as anyone knows, would, dirt and things like that can cause it to not be working properly. Something as simple as cleaning, right? So
Hmm.
what is that you guys have to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to make sure that these things are spinning correctly?
Sure. So a lot of it is condition-based periodicity. So runtime has a lot to do with it. Um, but if you calculate it out just right, it's usually on like a semi-annual basis. So every 6 months, we'll climb them and perform the PM activities that you're talking about: filters, filling, grease reservoirs, oil reservoirs, that kind of thing. Certain components have like coolant that it needs to keep it cool. So it's really like about every 6 months or so. Um, Most of the time, it's climbing to troubleshoot like issues, faults. They break down, just
Hmm.
like anything else. So, but yeah, but I'd say about every 6 months we're climbing and doing those PM activities.
Wow. And how long have you been in this profession?
Man, I got out of the military in 2011, went to college, and they actually had a wind turbine program. So I graduated in 14, and I've been with this company since then. So almost 9 years in May.
Wow. Okay. And let's touch on something you just mentioned there too. You were in the service. Thank you for
Yeah,
that, by the way. I
hey,
am one
appreciate
of the
that.
people who get to sit at home while you guys go out there and do that for everybody. So appreciate that.
Yeah,
Um, uh, what were you doing in the service?
I was a sonar technician in the Navy for 6 years.
In the Navy. Okay. Sonar technician. Is that? Were you in submarines then, or were you?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, so submarines was, what we did, but I was on the surface side, not on the submarine side.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're looking for the submarines while you're up on a battleship, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And what kind of ship were you on most of the time? Was there any action while you were serving, or I'm trying to think of that. I'm hesitant because I'm trying to think of like what was going on while that if you were getting
Sure.
out in 2011 and maybe however long you were in, if there was any global things that I had forgotten about.
Sure. Yeah. So I joined in 2005. I graduated in 2004. Um, we saw the Iraqi freedom going on, the
Hmm.
war over there. So
Okay.
um, I didn't have, that wasn't really a Navy thing so much. I mean, we were over there as presence. I'm sure they had some kind of support. Um, but as far as me, I was stationed on the USS Klein, which is a smaller ship. It's a frigate,
Okay.
built in the early 80s, and they were made for, tracking submarines and protecting, like the large carriers and destroyers, that kind of a thing, in the battle groups. But you know, sonar kind of went away with the Cold War. We submarines were a huge thing during that, and when
Mm.
that kind of went away, we just kind of just did a lot of training. Not a whole lot there. The coolest thing we did on my ship, since it was a smaller ship, was it was like my second to last deployment. We went all over Europe. I mean, everywhere, and that was the funnest deployment because we did. The main objective for that deployment was going to these other countries and basically trying to sell them on NATO. Um, so getting a lot of the dignitaries to come on board and wine and dine them and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But I mean, for us, just regular sailors, like just going over in Europe, we have to go to Amsterdam. Like, how cool is that?
Love Amsterdam.
So, dude, it is a different place. A lot of fun though, but I
Well,
mean, just everywhere.
you're under government, pay and everything like that, and have a certain level that you have to adhere to. I imagine while you're out traveling abroad there, right? So you can't really. In Amsterdam, what can you partake in? Or is it just the booze, maybe, and then you gotta kind of turn a blind eye to everything else, or what was it like for you
Yeah,
there?
they're not dumb. Everybody got tested after we left. We were only there for 24 hours.
I was wondering. I was like, I mean, they got mushrooms, they got weed, they got.
They've got everything. So yeah, it was and I think if anybody was naive to the fact that, hey, everyone's getting tested when we leave, they probably weren't there afterwards. So
Right. And so, what, aside of from Amsterdam, you were mentioned like wining and dining people. Was that something you were literally doing? Like, are you guys going out to restaurants with these dignitaries and sharing wine in Europe with them? Because I mean, this is a show that we sometimes talk about drinking on. So like, let's get
Yeah.
into a little bit of that wine. And I mean, I've had some of my favorite bottles over there in Europe.
Yeah. So no, what they would do is they would so essentially on the back of the ship, it's just a big helo deck, so a big place to land helicopters, and
Okay.
they would basically throw up what looks like a circus tent, and then bring out all the silverware and that kind of thing, and just the officers on board would host these dignitaries. It wasn't really open to like the enlisted people unless you're like a senior enlisted guy.
Okay.
Um, so it wasn't something we really saw. I mean, if you were on watch, like guarding the gate, they would give you the list of the people. So that's the only time you really got to see. You didn't really get to join in. I'm sure that was pretty thought out because you probably don't want a bunch of drunk sailors, like, woo, join NATO. It's cool, man.
I don't know. It might have worked though, a little bit better.
I
I
don't know,
mean, I
maybe
don't
some
know.
of them. So
You got to pick.
yeah,
You got to
no,
pick the
it was
right
kind of closed
dignitary.
off.
You got to do a little research on him before he gets up on the ship. And it's like, if this guy likes to party, everyone's going. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you'd
No,
sway
so
me.
we
This
get
is
to join a
probably
lot
why
of
I'm
that.
not a dignitary. But this is how you'd sway me if I was up there. So everyone's got to. We're doing shots. Let's go, guys. I'm on board.
Yeah. And if they were looking for that, I was their man, but I never got asked.
Ah, such a shame. Such a shame.
I know.
But I'm thank you again for your service in that, and I'm sure you had a lot of fun too. Is there any other outside of Amsterdam? What was some of the other highlights of that European trip? You did say, I mean, that's something that not a lot of people get to do. Period. Let alone
Right.
on Uncle Sam's dime, so to speak. So you're out there traveling around. I'm sure you got. Obviously, you're working. I'm not diminishing that as well, but there's got to be
Right.
some time, some recreation time too, and just be able to I don't know, see the culture and how people live differently out in Europe. But what was your takeaway from all that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I liked it because every place was different. Like we did most of my deployments, we were in South America. We were doing like counter narcotics, chasing drug boats, bringing shit over from South America,
Oh yeah,
Um, but I mean, a lot of those countries are, you know, not saying anything bad, but a lot of them are kind of the same. Food's about the same, drinks are about the same. I felt like every country we went to in Europe was different. Like some of
hmm
them may have adopted some of the same kind of things, but for the most part, it was a lot different. So it was refreshing to go to some place and it be new to you. But I think one of the funnest countries a lot of people when I told them about it have never heard of it was Estonia. I think the time we went, it was the youngest country in the world,
hmm
and it was just absolutely beautiful. People were super friendly. Food and drink were amazing. And then the other country I really enjoyed was Ukraine. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. Same deal. I mean, just really, really nice people. Probably I would consider the greatest bar I've ever been to in my life. It was Ringo Starr themed. The
Wait, just Ringo Starr theme? Just
Ringo
Ringo, not
Starr,
not Beatles
not the
theme.
Beatles.
Okay, okay.
It was called the Ringo Starr Bar. I don't know if that's like their Elvis is to Hawaii. I don't know, but they absolutely love Ringo Starr, and it was the coolest bar
That's
I've ever
rad.
been to. So
Dude, I've never been to Ukraine, and obviously that's all the timing that's going on right now over there, and
yeah,
um, I'm glad you had a good experience basically there, about
yeah,
15 years ago, whatever it was,
yeah,
and hope everyone gets out of this whole conflict. I mean, as good as can be. I mean, I don't know what you say at this point, Colin. It sucks. I'm not the
very
most political
unfortunate.
person, but it's just very unfortunate. But at
Yep,
any rate, I gotta hopefully one day it all Ukraine gets back to some semblance of normalcy, and maybe the Ringo Star bar will still be there.
I hope so for sure.
And you mentioned Estonia as well. That's another place I've never been. So Talk to me a little bit about that. You said it was super young as a country at the time that you went, because I've heard of
Yeah.
it, but I don't
hmm
think I've been there. I don't think if I have, it would have been traveled through. I don't think we played any shows there or anything like that.
Yeah. So it's from what I remember, it was a part of the Soviet Union, and it got its independence. And it's just cobblestone streets, just like when you think of medieval Europe. You that's what you see in Estonia. It's a lot of there's not a lot of like enterprise, so it's all like mom and pop. So the food is great. And then you the cool thing for me there that I remember the most was kind of you get with your group of guys and you're walking through and you're trying to find where we're going to hang out today, and we come across this place called like something like Texas Bar, and we're like, okay, some of my friends that I was with were from Texas, so of course we have to go in there, and it's just everything American, right? And
I
the thing
love
I
those
loved the
spots.
most was they had a big picture of Dimebag on the wall, and I was
Oh
like,
shit!
yes, this is where I'm hanging out today. Um,
I love
so
it.
yeah, so it was cool. They had it down. They knew what encompasses Texas, so it was pretty cool.
I do love those places too. I've been to a lot of places in Europe that, for whatever reason, just have their American bars, right? And or the fun ones for me is to go to Scandinavia and find Mexican restaurants. Those ones are because I just curious what did they think about Mexico? It's so far away, And usually there's
Yeah.
only like one time I think I've had it where I was like, oh, they did a pretty good job. The rest of the time I'm like, that's just because it looks red in the pictures doesn't mean it's ketchup, guys. Like that's not Mexican
Mm.
food.
A for
And just
effort.
because it's white, it's not mayonnaise. There's other things.
Yeah.
But you did mention being like very Texas and dime bag. Let's get into a little bit of music here, man. Obviously, you're into a kind of hard rock, a
Yep.
little metal, little hard rock, and you have the guitars behind you there. Do you play
Yep.
yourself?
Yeah. I've been playing for 23 years since I was 13.
Okay, okay. And guitar then, was that the only one you play, or you play any other instruments?
So I started with the guitar. Um, I kind of feel like if you can play guitar, you get the gist of playing bass. So I like to play bass
Whoa,
as
whoa,
well.
whoa, whoa.
Well, it's same concept, strings and hands, and frets.
Nah, you're right. It is basically the same thing. I mean, it's fucking with you.
And my son Lincoln, I mentioned earlier, he's his idol is the Rev, so I got him a drum set.
Awesome.
So he's playing it, and I'm trying to learn. It's coming along okay. It's been a few months now, so I'm trying to learn so I can help him out. But we're kind of learning the YouTube way, but
No, that's
it's
great.
been really fun. So
You guys, you hopeful to be able to jam with your kid like that? Like, I think
oh
that's
yeah,
as a father. I think that's the thing that you want. You play drums, I'll play guitar, and we'll learn some songs together, right?
yeah. I'm gonna be the creepy dad in the garage that just jamming away, and all of his friends are just like, "Can we go?" Like that's gonna be
No, no, no. We can go, but you got to let them have this first because
yeah.
they're
Like there's
gonna
two more
leave us
songs on the
alone.
set.
So, speaking on music, then let's go a little bit further. What are some of your favorite bands and concerts you've ever been to?
Oh man. Well, obviously you guys, Avenged has been a huge part of my life
Thank
for a
you.
long time. I feel grateful because my sons love you guys' music too. I think what really got me into metal, at least the memory I can, the one memory I can hone in on and remember was when my dad got the Black Album, Metallica,
Oh yeah.
and it was different because up to that point my dad was like Talking Heads, a lot of 80s stuff, Scorpions, which I mean has great guitar riffs and stuff in it too. But
Dude, Talking Heads is the shit too. Let's put that out there. I love Talking Heads. Go on. I'm
oh
sorry.
yeah, I mean absolutely, I still listen to him. But he was he was kind of all over the place. But then I remember the Black album, and it just really hit home with me. So, Metallica's been a big influence on my playing. I consider myself more of a rhythm player because, I don't have the fingers to do all that crazy shit. But
Yeah, it's a waste of
um,
time anyway. Just ask Sane. It's just a waste of time.
yeah, so I stay in my realm. I know what I am, so I'm good with that. So, and then you got, like I said, you got to love Pantera, Megadeth, but then I like a lot of other stuff too. Misfits are big for me. Love the punk stuff. Um, I'm one of those 37-year-olds that just heard Blink-182 is getting back together and
Oh
touring
yeah.
again. I did a little dance around the living room. So
Hell
you
yeah.
know we're
I love
we're
that.
already planning a trip to go see him in Houston. I think like next year. So you know
Awesome.
yeah. So I mean I love everything, but I mean like even outside of rock, like it's Oklahoma, so you've got country. So listen to some country and then really just whatever. I mean throw some Post Malone on. I don't care.
Right.
It's whatever comes across.
Yeah, I love that. Like, you have an open mind for music and see it as art and know that there's good in it all, man. And I think
Oh yeah,
that's the main
absolutely.
thing. One of the things you mentioned, different bands and stuff, and you said a couple of punk bands there in the Misfits. I'm actually supposed to go finish recording another Kisfits cover. I don't know if you've seen me, Brooks, and
Oh,
Zachy doing those.
yep. It's
After I get
awesome.
done here, I'm supposed to go record my bass part for another song. Uh, but what were some of the other punk bands like? And you mentioned Blink 182 as well. That's more of the, it got popular,
Yeah,
so they call it pop punk. But I mean, it was just the music they were making at the time. I mean, being
sure.
just down here in San Diego, we were one of the first ones to hear it in Orange County. So
Right.
they've been true blue the whole time. I consider them a great punk band.
Yeah. So, man, No Effects was big. Um,
Yeah.
of course. Then you got like Pennywise, um, Ramones, of course. They were kind of the godfathers for me.
Mm.
Um, but I mean, I can't think of a whole lot of punk rock bands, but I think about it. But those are probably the big ones for me as far
You
as
got some big ones in there.
yeah.
You covered some bases there. Last question on the music then, and then we'll wrap this thing up. What were some of your you've been to many concerts, and what were you say? And if so, what are some of your favorite memories from them? And hopefully, maybe in different genres. I mean, you said you listen to a little
Yeah,
bit of country too. So like, what is it about a concert that you love, and maybe you could share a couple of fond memories with us.
sure. I think it's just the intimate feel of going to a concert, right? The band, however far away from you, they're in the same building, room, whatever. So that's really cool. I would say like I haven't been to as many concerts recently as I would like to. Most of mine were several years ago. I did just go to NC Pearl Jam here in Oklahoma City like 2 3 weeks ago, and that was
Oh,
pretty
how was
cool.
that? I have never seen
It
them.
was, man, it was awesome. I love grunge, and that genre right there. So, and they're a favorite band of mine. So that was really cool. I mean, I don't know what they sounded like 20 years ago in concert, but I will say they can't sound any better than they do now because they sounded great. So it was really cool. Favorite
Eddie's still got a
concert?
great voice. Eddie's still got a great voice.
He
I saw him
does.
at the Ohana Fest just doing his solo stuff not too long ago. I
Yeah.
haven't seen Pearl Jam, but I've seen Eddie. And man, that guy's he's always on top of his shit. His voice is just incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Um, favorite concert? Man, I'm gonna have to go with AC/DC. They're, this was probably 2010 that I saw them, and
Wow.
I saw them in Jacksonville, Florida, and their stage presence is amazing. I
Right.
mean, they were still pretty old guys then, and they were moving, they were getting after it,
Oh
and
yeah.
they had all the stage theatrics and the big screen and all this stuff going on. It really pumped up the crowd, so it was a really cool show to see. Um, I will say I've never seen you guys live, and it makes me
Oh.
makes me sick. But every single time you guys were close and I had the opportunity, I was either on deployment or I had something going on at work that I couldn't peel away from. There's always something that I couldn't just like, hey, I need to go do this. There was no way out. So I've made it a mission as soon as you guys, drop this album and start touring again. Hell or high water, I'm coming out and seeing you guys for sure. So.
Well, awesome, man. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Maybe we could stay in touch. I'll see you in person when that day does come, because it will
Heck yeah.
come. We're going to be back at it. Just yeah, patience is a virtue to all those
Absolutely.
who wait. And it's gonna be something else. I'm really excited about it. Gonna get through the holidays here at home with the families and friends and all that wonderful stuff, and then
Sure.
I just have a shit-eating grin on my face every time I talk about the record now, because I know what it is and no one else
Yeah.
does, and it's so fun for me. Like, I
I mean,
don't want
that's
that
if you're
feeling
proud
to
of it,
end. I
you
just
know?
want to hold on to it now. I don't want that feeling to end.
Yeah. If anything, it just pisses everybody off, and that's fun.
I think I said that early on in my career, that I actually do enjoy pissing people off, and I guess
Yeah.
it's still true today. No, I kid. I mean, I'm as excited and coy and fun as it is to be holding on to this right now, and honestly, just finishing it up right now.
Right.
And then it's just the planning, printing, all that fun stuff. So it's coming in due time here. But just having that knowledge is fun. But I just know how much more fun it's going to be once you guys all hear it, and I'm excited for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then,
Absolutely.
We'll be back, and maybe we can up the level of ACDC there for you. Maybe, I'm not saying we're a better band or anything like that. No one get crazy. No one get crazy. Just
Right.
saying, maybe we can maybe we could show you what we got for the first time.
I think overall it'd be a great experience because, I've got to take my boys with me. And, so I think just that experience, it'll be their first concert. So I'm holding off for that. So I think that.
You're gonna hold off. You don't hold off too long. You never know what could happen, man. If they got to go see a concert, they got to go see a concert.
It's not
It's
just
already
me,
been
too,
5
like,
years, man. You never know.
they're waiting. They're
Okay.
they're kind of in the same boat. Like, yeah, like we're gonna go see it when it's here. I'm like, okay.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the time, brother, and we'll hopefully see you guys out there with your whole family. Have a wonderful Halloween, a wonderful happy birthday. Everyone wish Colin a happy birthday right here down below in the comments. And man, again, congratulations for your golden ticket winner. I didn't even mention that that's why we're having this conversation. You were one of the lucky
Everyone just
golden
thinks I'm
ticket
famous.
winners. One of the golden ticket winners from almost a year ago now. It was the beginning of this season. So
That's right.
I'm glad that we were finally able to get this on the schedule. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, Colin, and we'll talk again sometime soon, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Johnny.
Cheers.